Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're doing a recap of Love Island Season 3 Episode 8, and we got a lot to unpack. But if you're new here, like, comment, subscribe, make sure you turn on your notifications, and without further ado, let's jump into this video. So it starts out with Mr. Giovanni just living his best life with his girl Olivia. And honestly, to me, I don't see any chemistry. These two seems like friends. I mean, and again, like I said in the previous episodes, look like they're just coasting through time. But hey, who knows? Maybe they are more than platonic. But I really just don't see the chemistry there with these two. But at least we got to see them this episode, because they've been pretty much non-existent. And then, of course, they definitely had to get some smooching in. I guess production said, you know what, we got to give them some screen time. So they finally gave us some screen time of both Olivia and Giovanni. And we got to see Olivia more, because we've seen Giovanni a couple times, but pretty much by himself. But either way, they seem to be happy. So we'll have to see what happens with these two. But at least we got to see a little bit of Olivia. I don't see them two sticking around for a long time, but who knows? So then we have Miss Amy, and Miss Amy and Jeremy is just not it right now. I mean, he looks like he is just so not happy. Like he just don't want to be in this coupling with Amy. And his whole storyline is just bland. I honestly wish Amy kind of would move out of this coupling with Jeremy, because I just don't see it. And we'll talk about Jeremy a little bit more in his conversation with Florita a little bit later. But these two aren't going anywhere. She seems disinterested. He seems bored. Go figure. So they did this all lubed up challenge where the girls had to pretty much put on a show for the guys, because, yeah. And what it consisted of a stripper pole, a lot of water, and the men spraying them. And I will say that the girls look kind of cute today. You know, they were all excited about the whole challenge. You know, I think the challenges from season 2 was a lot more interesting to me. But hey, it's still early. So let me know what you guys think. But here we are with another challenge. And of course, these guys are going to come together to pick the girl who really gets them all hot and bothered. So, here we get ready for the all lubed up challenge. The first girl is Kira, and you know Kira is going to be all over Will. Again, like I said, they might as well just coast to the end and get married, because I don't see them budging at this point. Again, anything is subject to change in Love Island, especially with CASAIAH coming up the pipeline. But Will is all smitten over Kira, and it is what it is. So now we got Olivia. At least, again, we got a little bit more of Olivia this time around. She tried to do her thing with that little wrench that she had. Giovanni was smiling from ear to ear, which, hey, if it works for him, fine. Now, I will give it to him. That scene that they had together was pretty hot. But that's probably the hottest scene that I've seen with Olivia and Giovanni so far. Again, they look like friends to me, but who knows? They could be later down the line just as big as Kira and Will. But we'll have to wait around and see. So we also have Corey and Florita. We got them, and that was okay. It was Cash's turn, and Cash definitely is a performer. She definitely put on a show. She enjoys herself and all the fun that she can have, and she was definitely here for it. And I mean, did she definitely get the guys lubed up? I would have thought so. But the guy that she choose to really, really get it going with is Mr. CASAIAH. And again, they were hot. They were passionate. I actually like these two together. I mean, I was a casino fan, meaning Cinco and Cashay. But that's over now. So I'm pretty excited about this situation. Now, we're going to have a little rocking the boat of this situation a little bit, but Isaiah seems like he's definitely on board at this point. And they obviously are cute together. Now, I've seen the comments talking about Justine and Caleb 2.0 with these two, with Isaiah and Cash, but I don't see that myself. They're two different people. I'm not going to even compare the two. But Cash definitely put it on him real good. It pretty much blew his mind. Yeah, I think he is definitely sold. But then we got Roxy, because Roxy's also interested in Isaiah as well. And she was definitely trying to put on a show too, on that pole. And what she did with that screwdriver and the position that she was in. Plus, she got herself all wet. She was also trying to get Isaiah very hot and bothered as well. She tried to put a kiss on him. He was a little bit impressed, but I don't know if it was at the level that Cash put it on him. But definitely Roxy thought she was doing her thing. Then we got Lay-In. Lay-In was definitely doing her thing. I mean, she was really trying to get Cinco's attention, because her eyes has been on him from day one. And you talking about another performance? Yeah, she definitely put it down the way she did. And the girl is definitely very flexible. And that had, of course, Cinco's eyes when he was looking to, at her. The question is, was it enough to get him to sway from Trina? Well, I mean, she definitely put in work, but, and it looked kind of sexy. And of course, Cinco was all in. Trina was looking some kind of way, and she was standing over there all confident and whatnot. Like, I ain't worried about her. I ain't worried. I'm good. I'm secure. And I know she thinking like, look, don't get crazy. But, she kept her cool. I know they was watching her. The cameras were on her as well, trying to get any reaction, but she kept it cute. But, definitely Lay-In put it down on him. I mean, I think there was some moves, like if she was actually doing something. And he was impressed. I will say that, it seems like. But was it impressive enough to beat, last but not least, of course, Cinco's girl, Trina? Because it's definitely her turn. And she was like, I got this. And, of course, we still on this whole scene with her, but I thought it was cute. One thing I will say about Lay-In, that girl know how to style her hair. She go from one style to another and still looking good. It's Trina's turn. Trina decided to rip her shirt open, pull out the girls, and she was like, I'm focused on my man. At this point, she considers him, I guess, her man. It remains to be seen. We got all the way to September to go. But she was like, oh yeah, my focus is you. I'm only looking at you. I'm pointing at you. And Cinco, of course, was all eyes. Now, ladies, let me know what you think, because she was the last girl to do the all lubed up performance challenge. Which girl do you think did the best? I mean, they all did pretty good. All of them had, fun in their own way. I mean, she actually licked that tool that she had. She kind of giving Cinco a little bit of what to expect, I guess, one day. But she was on top of him doing some movements, and it looked like it was mimicking as if she was actually riding Cinco. So obviously that got him blown. So the guys deliberated to try to see who they wanted to choose as the girl that got them all lubed up. And I thought sure that they was probably going to pick Trina. I was wrong. They actually chose at the group Roxy. I was surprised by that. Let me know what you guys think. Did you think that they were going to pick Roxy? It wasn't as profound to me of what she did. But hey, it's not me. It's them. So obviously they enjoyed the show that Roxy gave them, because she was the one out of the girls that won the competition. So they headed back over to the villa, sit down to talk about the kisses that they had. Cinco was talking about the whole thing with Lay-In and Trina. He was like, Trina always gonna do her thing. But hey, he also said Lay-In put a little bit on his mind too. So I was honestly thinking that he might have was looking in a different direction. You also had Isaiah trying to figure this thing out, because not only did we have Cashay giving him the kiss of a lifetime, he also had to compare whatever he had going on with Roxy, because Roxy was also interested in him as well. And I think there was something going on a little bit with Amy too, but I'm not too sure that that's going to go anywhere, because she's stuck in that whole coupling with Jeremy. But so anyway, Cash decided to spend a little bit of cozy time, and they both vibing and connecting with each other, and pretty much it was going pretty smooth. The problem with this whole situation is that sometimes you gotta watch where you sit and watch what you're talking about. And it's so unfortunate, because you should be able to sit down and have a conversation with your dude or with your girl wherever comfortable. It's y'all conversation, right? Well, it wasn't just their conversation, because while they were talking and vibing and talking, and of course Isaiah was like, I want to get to know you, and I'm enjoying my time with you, and I really like you, and all of this stuff. And of course Cashay is all in the conversation with everything he had to say. Somebody else, while they was laughing and smiling about this whole thing, somebody else was in their conversation. And that's crazy, because this person need to truly focus on her own thing. But we'll talk about her in a bit. So, that was the biggest thing with Cash. She don't want the repeat of what happened with, Cinco to happen with him. And it remains to be seen if Isaiah is going to do that with her. But he's had a couple of conversations with several people that was kind of similar. But somebody that was also in their business was Shannon. Shannon need to mind her own business, because she was told a half story by Josh yesterday. So while you worried about what's going on with Cash and Isaiah, you need to figure out what's going on in your own coupleship or coupling or whatever you want to call it. Because there is no reason you should be worried about what Isaiah is doing. Everybody in that place is trying to figure out what they're doing with somebody. She decides to be a busybody and go back and tell the other girls about what was going on. Now, granted, I know you should look out for each other, but she's saying that he's coupling up, and he said that she's, I love the conversation. And of course, you got, Roxy and Amy in there, and they sitting up there talking about it. And of course, Cash walks into this, and they tell her, oh my God, the same thing he's telling you, he told us too. It's making him seem like he's playing a game. And of course, because Cash is fresh off of the whole Cinco thing, she now, of course, is going to second guess his intentions. And I can understand that to an extent. But the thing is that for them to say he seemed like he's playing a game, especially with Shannon, guess what? Your dude is playing a game too, because of what the story that he told Florita yesterday and didn't tell you the truth. That's what you need to be figuring out right now, Shannon. But this is a game. It's a game show. It's a social experiment. Everybody got to figure it out. However, with that information, now she's upset at Isaiah. She don't know what's real, whether he's genuine or not, with everything. And of course, that has her teary-eyed, which obviously that's why she's got her shades on. But for them to bring that to her attention and they thought they were helping, it actually was a detriment. And at this point, she's going to have to decide what's best for her in the end of this. Now, she did get to have a conversation with Giovanni, and Giovanni, I'm glad he was there as a listening ear and, to console her through all of this, because it is painful to come off of the Cinco thing and hear about what's going on with Isaiah. Then we got this whole conversation with Jeremy, because he's having a conversation with Florita in regards to Amy. And, she's like, well, what's going on? And he was like, we got an open relationship. Now, to Florita, Amy is, telling her that they seem like they're in a coupling. I honestly don't believe it. I don't even think they have a connection. I don't think they're truly interested in each other. But okay. But he says an open relationship. Amy thinks they're in a good, solid coupling. Whatever. And of course, Amy's in chill mode because ain't nobody coming after Jeremy. So she figured that I'm in a safe space with Jeremy in the meantime. And I really don't think she's that interested. However, that was definitely concerning to Florita because of what Amy is saying versus what Jeremy is saying. I honestly think Jeremy should be the next one to go home because he's just biding his time with these girls to see who he can wait to come in down the line. Because, of course, there's going to be new ladies coming in. And he's just hoping that, I'll just be in a safe space with somebody to that person I'm really looking for come through that door. And obviously, it must not be Florita. He said that he's interested, but yeah, okay, whatever. So Cash decided to sit down and have a conversation with Isaiah because of all the information she got from talking to the ladies in the villa about how he's been saying the same thing to them as well. And of course, he's shocked by that because, Cash, one thing I will say about Cash, she's definitely very direct. She's going to put it to you with no filter. Like, here it is. This is what I see. Tell me what we doing. And of course, he kind of got a little bit offended by that, I guess. And he was like, what do you mean I'm playing a game? I've had the best 48 hours with you. We really hit a connection. Yeah, I'm trying to decide. I've talked to other people, but this is where I'm at with you. And I really want to pursue this with you. And it kind of toned, her thought process with this down and how she felt about Isaiah. She, of course, she kind of retracted and said, you know what? Yeah, they told me the information, but I have to focus on me and build upon my connection and explore it of what I have going on with Isaiah. So that's what she's going to have to do. Other than that, people are going to be telling you all kind of stuff in that villa. It's up to you to make a decision to say, I'm going to leave it alone or I'm going to go and explore it for myself to see if it's genuine or not. Because the only way you're going to know is you're going to have to hit it head on. You did it with Cinco. You found out if that didn't work. You got to move on to the next because that's what this show is about. So then, speaking of Cinco, he's having a conversation with our lovely Leilani. I think I got her name right. And so, Leanne, I got it. Okay. Because I don't want y'all in my comments how much you said her name wrong. But anywho, I digress. She's definitely putting it out there like, look, I'm interested in you. What we gonna do? I know you talking to Trina right now. And I'm interested in being part of trying to get to know you, but I don't see that going anywhere. I thought it was. I thought she was going to get Trina a run for her money, but I guess not. So we got Ariel coming in the villa, and we know what that means. When she show up, it's about to be a recoupling. And of course, we got 9 girls and 7 guys. And the first person that is up is Will. And of course, he's going to pick Kira. No surprise there. And they hugged it out. Okay, and I'm happy for them. Some people find that boring. I love. So then we got Josh. Josh, of course, picked Shannon. They need to figure that out because he's telling a different story. He's one way in her face, and then when he get with these girls that come in the villa, it's a totally different story. So while she busy being in somebody else's business, she need to figure out her own business. So then that takes us over to Corey. It's his turn. He get to choose Florida. I'm glad that he actually was able to find someone to couple up with because for a long time it seemed like he was just floating through time. Here we go with Mr. Jeremy. Again, this whole thing, I honestly think it's time for him to go as well. Who he chooses was Amy. And then we got, of course, Cinco. I was wondering if he was going to pick Leanne, but nope, he stuck with Trina. So we'll have to see them continuously. I know a lot of people are not liking this coupling because how they did the cash thing, but Oh well, we got to move on. And then we got Giovanni, who chose Olivia. We'll see how that friendship turns into a relationship. Again, I honestly don't see a deep connection here yet, but it remains to be seen. And then it was Isaiah. And so that, of course, left Cash up in the air. That also left Roxy up in the air because she was interested in as well. But then Leonie was left and she had no interest in Isaiah. So, she was the one that's going home. But of course, the final choice, as he said, was a hard decision. He chose Cash. So I'm interested to see where this go. He claimed he wants a future with her. I think that's a strong word to be so soon. They've only been in there a week. He's only been in there like 2-3 days. So we'll definitely see if they'll grow into something as time go on. Or if maybe Cash might like one of the new guys. Or who knows what he's going to do. But at the same time, that sends Roxy home. And she was definitely upset about what happened. And Amy was upset to see her go. He was kind of upset because, I'm hoping he's not regretting his decision. Of course, Layin is one that also went home. So, they didn't stay there long. They were only there a couple days. It did not work out. So now that brings in Slade, and then that also bring in Wes. So we'll see what happened with these two and who they couple up with. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.